searching all my life. Think it's time to get it right.
What is up, Purposeful family? Welcome back. Oh my gosh, we are back. Episode 2. I'm Angee Melange. I'm the host, and this is my wonderful co-host, Miss Candace Mabry.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all, when I tell you, just, getting used to this new, format that we have. I love it. It's just going to take a little bit of getting used to. That's all. Yep. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Angee. I'm like you. I'm still trying to get used to it too. I'm like, wait a minute. Should I look this way? This way? Right there. Camera right there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, for those of you who joined us last week, you may have noticed I had like my whole background showing. So we just been playing around with it. And, as always, we're always working to try to improve the experience. But this is fun. I'm just excited. This episode we have for you, of course, is purposefully packed. And we have a lot to get into today. Before we do, Candace, what you been up to? Anything interesting going on with you?
Girl, same old, same old. I'm not really out here in these streets because I'm trying to pay off these loans.
That's right. Ain't nothing out there in them streets anyway, girl.
Look, okay, so I'm balling on a budget.
I'm right there with you, girl. And you see, I'm over here in the house with my hat on because, I'm from up north, and I do love the fall. It is my favorite season. So I was, trying to get the fall colors going. You see, I got the fall colors going in my hair. And, and today I was like, well, let me just try this hat on and just see what's going on. And it worked. And I was like, you know what? I'm wearing it. So you know what? Hello, fall.
Yes.
Oh. Girl. So, as far as myself, what I've been up to, I have pretty much just been working, trying to keep my sanity because, work is work. And it's been really tough lately. I mean, I work in an industry that, for those of you who don't know, I am a non-clinical healthcare manager, but we're coming into a season where open enrollment, so not only that, it's just with the economy and everything going on, with the election coming up, there's just a lot of, high emotions running right now. And it's not just impacting, the people that, we serve, but also, the people that I work with. So I just encourage my team and people to, make sure that you are attending to your mental health and making sure you take time for yourself. Use the PTO. Yep. So we're going to get into this episode. We want to talk about what's been going on in the media. Yeah. So last time we met, or last episode, we talked about the election. Hot topic, of course, right? But there has been a debate since the last time we were here. And so we wanted to kind of just go through a highlight of that, because for those of you who didn't see the debate, you probably have heard of it. You probably heard about what happened. And so we want to just share with you a little highlight reel of the debate, and we'll come back and discuss it.
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. World leaders are laughing at Donald Trump, some of whom worked with you. And they say you're a disgrace. We'll start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. She was not black, that she put out. And I'll say that. And then I read that she was black.
This
mother.
Former president.
What's your favorite curse word?
I can't say it. It starts with and it ends with not ER.
President of the United States. You'll get him out of bed. You'll wake him up at 4:00 in the afternoon. Right. You'll say, come on down to the office. Let's say every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states.
Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that.
You could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth.
Just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here,
threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
your time is up. Just to clarify in the question, do you believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war? Yes or no?
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
Oh my goodness. Candace. Girl. That was, listen, I think they said like 70 or 80 million viewers watched that live debate. I mean, they had people of all ages. Everybody watched that. And it was entertaining, but it was kind of frightening to hear, you know, a lot of the things that he chose to spend his time talking about. And I'm just saying, Kamala, she destroyed him. Like, she totally came and she understood the assignment. Like, I feel like this was her opportunity to show the American people that she had the capabilities to be a leader, that she's not afraid of Trump, that none of his crazy, you know, dictatorial or dictators, you know, antics work with her. He wasn't able to throw her off of, you know, what it was she came to do. She was able to stay on focus. Anytime the moderators asked Trump a question, he got sidetracked. He was always deflecting. He never gave any straight answers. And what do you think about? What are your thoughts?
I gotta hand it over to Miss Kamala. She came correct. She definitely, I think, did her research, did her homework well. And I mean, from the very start of the debate, when they shook hands, the way she walked over to her stand, her podium, I was like, oh, she ready.
She's ready. Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because I didn't capture that in the reel. But yeah, anybody that watched the debate saw her. I don't think that he's not a gentleman. Clearly, we know that he's not a gentleman. Does not have respect for women. We know this. So I'm glad that she took the initiative, because that is what true leaders do. She absolutely, it felt like she was giving him an air whooping. Like, I feel like she gave him an air whooping. And he needed that in front of the whole world. The world. So proud. But yeah, eat the cat, like the internet is undefeated.
The internet is just
yeah, that whole, unfortunately, the statement that he made about the cats and the dogs, you know, it has not been proven to be factual. And unfortunately, because he's speaking about migrants that are, you know, Haitian migrants that are in Springfield, Ohio. And because he's spreading this false, you know, rhetoric, is causing people in that, you know, town there's been bomb threats, you know, to federal buildings in that town. The Haitian migrants that are there are fearing for their lives. They've had to take their children out of school. Could you imagine Haitian children afraid to go to school because they're going to get bullied, or, you know, because he is so dangerous with his mouth. Like, that's what I'm saying. The first Trump presidency, knowing that this man had access to nuclear weapon, like, that is so scary. I don't want to go through that. Like, he is unhinged. This is my personal opinion. The man is unhinged. I personally feel that he's made enough threatening statements on a public, you know, with this public platform that he has, to be like terroristic threats even, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he gets away with so much, but causes so much damage. So this is why it's so important that we vote.
Yep. Your vote does it. Even though, you know, some people out here, they be like, it don't matter, but at least take advantage of the fact that you can vote, because there were people that wanted to vote and couldn't even have the opportunity to. So please.
And because of the votes that were, because of the people who fought and because of the votes that we have made thus far, we have been able to advance and get as far as we have. So to anybody out there, especially anybody that is a person of color, you are someone yourself who has, been, come from a immigrant, migrant family. I just want you to know that if you are able to vote, you absolutely need, this is such a pivotal election. You not voting can absolutely change the trajectory of your life going forward. These are unprecedented times that we're living in right now. And I don't think, in my lifetime, I don't think that I've seen such hate and vitriol and racism so openly displayed. So, yep.
I came across someone who, because I asked a friend of mine, hey, are you planning on voting for this election? And this friend responded saying, I don't trust either party. He really feels like they will, they're just lying, and he doesn't trust either party. What would you say to people out there that have that same belief?
I used to be that person. I used to feel the same way because, especially as a person of color, as a person who has historically not had equal rights in this country, we're continuously waiting for that day and that moment where we feel like we are treated equally. So I've been there. I get it. At the same time, I'm not going to be ignorant and ignore the positive impact to my life because of the Democratic Party. I cannot say that there's been any Republican parties that I have directly benefited from because their interests I cannot relate, which is why I've never been a Republican. The things that the Democrats support and openly, publicly support, they benefit people like you and I. They are not quiet about it either. They're boldly, loudly saying that they want to help people who have had less advantages, in this country. And they've been very consistent with that. As long as I, have known about the Democratic Party. Now, what they may have stood for back in the day before I was born, I don't know. I just know as we have progressed, the quality of the people in that party have also progressed. Their ideologies, the way that they view people, maybe, back in the 60s and things like that, when we were coming out of Jim Crow, people had ideologies that they were embedded, racism was embedded in them. Just like even now to this day, there's still people that we know that we work with who grew up in racist homes, who have to work alongside people that they have been brought up to look down upon, but yet they are in spaces where they cannot openly display that, right? So you have to think about the Democratic Party. When you have these people that are in these Democratic political roles, they're a part of the party that, people are saying, oh, they're not for us. They're not for it. But as time has gone on, these people have also changed their perspective about people. People have, and that's only because of things like the civil rights movement and because of our white allies that are within the Democratic Party. Thank God for our white allies within the Democratic Party. Even the allies that are not political, that are white, who have spoken up for us. We are thankful. I personally am thankful. We would not have gone like the Bernie Sanders, the Joe Bidens, there's so many more, JFK, like there's so many throughout history that you go back to their childhood. And I'm telling you, they probably didn't ever think that they would be fighting for a cause that would benefit people of color. But as they have grew and matured and had their own personal journey and met people and got to experience Black people and see they're just as human as me. We all bleed the same blood. They have the ability to choose for themselves. And I'm not subscribing to what my parents were talking about. That ain't for me. That was for their generation. I'm going to be the change agent. I'm going to do something different. And they boldly made the change. think about like Joe Biden. He is like almost 80 years old. What was they doing 80 years ago? They was not supporting Black people. And he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. It is not predominantly Black there. And where he lives is not predominantly Black. So again, when people try to talk about Biden, no, Biden went against the grain. And yes, they say, oh, he supported policies that did this and locked it. You have to understand, he was still a part of a political party that was majority white people who had grew up with those same similar values. You can't just, he had to continue to be consistent in what he believed in and partner with other people, the allies, like the Black people, the preachers within the Black community, getting to know these other stakeholders that were within the communities. And that's what white allies do. They get to know the Black, stakeholders, which are usually the pastors, other just civil rights leaders, the Al Sharptons, the Martin Luther Kings, like the people who are the voice of our community. They are typically partnering. That's why we see pictures back in the day, Bernie Sanders, in doing, what is the march on Washington. You see them involved because they know that in order for them to make a difference, they have to partner publicly, be seen publicly, being that partner and that ally, right? And what that does for other white people who also want to do the same, it gives them permission. It makes them understand that, oh my gosh, I don't have to subscribe to this hate. If they can do it, I can do it too. And look how much more freer they are because they're walking in their truth, and they're actually doing something that's going to benefit the greater good, right? So I know I said a mouthful, but to anybody out there who is doubting the Democratic Party and those who say, oh, choose the lesser of two evils, let's just take the word evil out of it for a moment. And let's just think like logically. Trump throws insults at a time when people are hurting. Trump throws out false information at a time where people are worried and fearful. He has an opportunity to share information that can unite people, that can comfort people, that can give people reassurance that this nation is going to be okay. And he chooses to use his words to harm people, to incite fear, to divide. Just use logic. That's all I'm going to say. But vote. Make sure you register to vote. All right. Moving on. It's been, yes.
Mic drop. Girl.
Yes.
My bell is not with me.
I'm gonna have
It's
to.
okay.
I'm gonna have to send you a bell and a lift, honey. All right. So, as mentioned before, with the Pretty Purposeful Podcast, we are trying to stay up with the latest that's going on. And you guys may have heard that Shannon Sharp was in the news recently. Did you hear about it, Candace?
I did.
What did you hear, girl?
So apparently, Shannon Sharp was, doing some relational type things, and he forgot to turn off his live button on his Instagram account. He threw his phone to the side and carried on with his relational activity. Now, a lot of people caught this on the live. He was, enjoying himself, and the lady friend that he was with was enjoying herself as well. And apparently, I think there's been some talk that maybe his account was hacked, or maybe he just forgot to, he didn't realize that the live was on, and it was an honest mistake. So that's what I heard, girl.
Girl, I couldn't believe it. When I heard it, I was just like, not on. I was just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I were in his shoes. But I did hear that, initially he said that his phone was hacked. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people usually will say that initially. But then when he came back and said that it was him, I was like, okay, well, at least he, took accountability. And I mean, the act of having sex itself isn't illegal. It's, he's an adult. It was consensual, clearly. But it's definitely an embarrassing moment for him. So I just thought that was just very interesting, and definitely considering today's topic, our episode today, I just thought that the topic of sex, I don't even know why I'm hesitant to say the word, y'all, sex. Yeah, but our topic today, we're going to be talking about celibacy, choosing you, and the power of celibacy. So we, definitely shout out to Shannon Sharp. I think you may have mentioned that you had heard somewhere that he said that he was not going to be discontinuing the act itself, that he was going to be continuing on. And more power to you, Shannon. Listen, just people out there, if you are choosing to have sexual relations with one person or multiple, just, be protected. But today we are talking about the power of celibacy. So Candace, and also celebrities. I've been hearing recently that there are a lot of celebrities that are practicing celibacy. Have you heard that Lenny Kravitz has been celibate for 9 years?
No.
Yes.
I don't even know who that is. Who is he?
Yes. Well, let me show you Lenny Kravitz.
Okay, you got pictures? Awesome.
No. I do. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, yeah. That is Mr. Lenny. Mr. Lenny Kravitz. So he is a renowned rock singer and actor. He has openly spoken about his commitment to celibacy, and he's been speaking about it in the media and interviews for some time. So in 2020, he did an interview with Men's Health magazine, and he revealed that he chose to remain celibate until he finds the right partner. So he's been known, Candace, for being free-spirited, and he's been in former, high-profile relationships, including Lisa Bonet, who we know used to be on the Cosby Show. That was Denise. And but ever since, they parted ways, his desire for a deeper, meaningful connection has been what he's been aspiring for. So this perspective reflects a broader trend of celebrities that are starting to opt for celibacy. So his public stance on celibacy comes at a time when conversations around sexuality and personal well-being are becoming more prevalent, especially within the celebrity sphere. So this choice aligns with his overall lifestyle, which includes a focus on health and fitness, as we can see with those six-pack, the abs that he got popping. 56 years young.
56.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so Kravitz's journey definitely highlights, an ongoing exploration of how personal values influence relationship choices today. So what do you think?
Hats off to him. And I just hope that a lot of brothers read or at least encounter this story that we're sharing, or even kind of see who he is and why he decided to be celibate, especially in a day and age where many brothers are deciding to just be free, live how they want to live, and just be happy. Girl, should I give him my plane example? My friend on the plane?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is why I say we're living in a day and age where a lot of men, they not about this celibate life. So I came across a very attractive male. I was on a plane, was traveling for work. And this brother, like I said, very attractive. We connected via conversation. And he was like, have you been in a relationship? And I was like, yeah, I was in a relationship for a decade. Things are different now. But long story short, he was saying how he was in a relationship for 4 years. And the past 4 years, he's been in no serious relationship because of how his 4-year relationship went about. And he's like, I've gotten to the point to where I do not want to be in a serious relationship because he's like, it's too much of a headache. I prefer the friends with benefits, type of relationships. And he asked me if I was open to having that type of relationship with him, like friends with benefits. And I just I couldn't sit with it because I just really feel like at the end of the day, I was going to end up being hurt. Okay. It just didn't sit well with me. So let me tell you how he explained it. He says, this is how it usually goes with me. The girl that I'm connected with, we might have some relational things, intimacy going on for 3 to 6 months. He sounded very responsible. He was like, 1, we're both going to get tested for STDs. 2, I always make sure that the female that I'm with is on birth control. And then he also mentioned that as soon as, for example, if I were to step out and sleep with someone else, or the female that he's with decides to sleep with someone else, then what they have going on is no longer official. So it's like he wanted a exclusive relationship, but not really, because he told me, he was like, we don't got to do the relational things. And I'm like, listen, it really still seems like I would be hurt. There's a hormone that happens when you are intimate with a person, especially, with the same person multiple times. There is something gonna connect. Okay. There's a thing called soul ties. And I just felt like I just can't get down with that. So that's just an example to say, like, there are a lot of men out here. What? And you said this man, the celebrity Lenny, 56, he's been celibate for 9 years. Hats off.
Yeah. I mean, that story that you just shared, sis, I would be like, are you serious? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people out there who prefer to have those type of relationships. I mean, both parties could be, in agreement. That could be something that they both, it might just work, for some people.
Right.
I personally, hey, I have had situationships like that.
Right.
And my thing, and I will be honest, I think that when it is a situation where both people, agree to that it could work. But yeah, I mean, a situation like you said, that's not what you want. And so you made the right decision. But
yeah,
I mean,
not judging anybody that decides to go that pathway, but I just know how I am. It's difficult for me to it's difficult for me to just have one night stands. Like,
if that's something that, like, seriously, like you said, if you know for a fact that you have no desire to have any type of committed relationship going in, it is going to be, and I don't care how good I don't care how good it is. I'm speaking from experience, y'all.
Vitamin D.
Yeah. No matter how good the vitamin D is, no matter how fine they are, they could be the best you ever had. But if you have had experiences in life and you've gotten to a point where you realize that you cannot make decisions based off of the physical connection, that, you have to almost compartmentalize that and enjoy that aspect of the connection for what it is and what it's worth to you at that time, then that's what you have to do. Like I said, from my own experience, I can say that I've been there, and because it was a mutual situationship, it worked. However, this is where celibacy comes in to play. You get to a point, and I'm only speaking from my own experience. I don't know. I can't speak for men. I know that some men will get there, not all, but some. But I know for us women, when we have those type of relationships and it may be working, you're getting what you need physically. There comes a time where you're just like, okay, I'm not getting, the emotional aspect of this connection that I need. And it is now interfering with my own connection, my spiritual connection with my God, my higher power, and my personal relationship with myself, my own self-worth, how I feel about, me. You get to a point where you realize, I can see this as empowering, like I'm in control of this situation, because he's not taking advantage of me. We're kind of both taking advantage of each other. But then you get to a place where you're like, no, but I value myself so much that this man can no longer just have access to me like that anymore without the commitment, without the invested, without the vested interest in more. So yeah, it's definitely a personal decision. I think depending on your circumstances, I know for me, I've made the choice to be celibate multiple times in my life. I will say the longest I've ever gone celibate is 4 years. And that was after my divorce in 2014. I chose to go celibate because honestly, for the first time in my adult life, that was like the first time I had been single, and, able to really get to know me. And I needed that mental clarity to really hone in to, who was Angee, who was I at that time in my life. I was so used to conforming to whatever, my husband or whoever I was with prior to him, what they wanted. And so those 4 years, I was able to, figure out, the things that I enjoyed, what it was that I wanted to do with my life. And I will tell any young lady, if you have been in consecutive relationships from high school and you get a break, take that break, embrace that break, don't sleep with nobody. And I'm telling you, that is a very empowering moment for young women. I can't speak for men, but for young women, I think it's necessary. What about you, Candace? What's the longest you've gone?
Oh.
Well, Candace, you have been in a long-term relationship, so.
I've been in a long-term relationship, 10 years, a decade. And I lost my virginity when I was 21. So I didn't really have a lot of sexual experiences in high school and in my early days of college. Yeah, so I haven't been dibbling and dabbling in sex after the relationship I just had. Honestly, I'm just not in a good mental space to just open myself up to anybody else right now. I think doing that, if I were to just let myself loose or, just let myself go. I don't want to say loose because, to each his own. Like, I'm not here to judge anybody. But if I were to just let myself go and be free, at the end of the day, again, I just feel like I would still end up empty inside. Yeah. So I do not, mentally, I'm not trying to entertain any bodies.
Yeah, right no, I respect that. I was wondering, do you think, because we've been hearing recently a lot of more people coming out and talking about celibacy, do you think that this could possibly be a result of the hypersexualization that has gone on for, I don't know, it seems like I would say at least the last, I don't want to say the last decade, but definitely the last 5 years. It's just it's been glamorized. It's been,
it's so easy to get nowadays. You could go online and get you some booty cheeks in 2 seconds. What? It's so easy.
What? Wait a minute.
Booty cheeks. 2.5 seconds. It don't take long.
What? Wait.
It don't take long.
What? Okay.
Tinder. It's dating. All this. Not to throw some of these.
That's horrible. That is really bad.
Am I lying though, Angee? Am I lying?
I didn't think about it like that, but you're right. When you said it like that, I'm like, but wait a minute, but you are right. It's sad because it's unfortunate because some people do not go to those sites with that intention. And I know as a person who used to use those sites to date online, to meet people, to meet guys, to date, I never went on there with the intention for sex. I never went on a dating site to find sex. Huh?
I've had a friend of mine tell me, girl, I've heard someone online say, avoid dating online because it's just like a sexual market, especially for males.
Well, yeah, that is definitely wise advice. And I think that should be shared more often, especially with the younger ladies. And I mean, not even the younger ladies, I think just ladies in general, because there are some older women who also maybe might just be getting introduced to the technology, and maybe they're not able to get out and they just want to socialize. They want to date. And there are men that are in their age range. And hey, there might be some cougars just trying to get some young, they might actually be on it for some, themselves. But some of them might actually be some wholesome women just looking to expand their dating pool, right? I know myself if I take the time to create a freaking profile, and I know that I'm just like any other profile that I put myself out there on the internet, I want to put my best foot forward. I'm not putting my best foot forward to be a piece of meat. Hello? I try to vet and try to, as much as far as the preferences and, income and education. I don't want nobody that ain't got a profile picture. I don't want nobody that make below a certain income. I don't want nobody that got below a certain degree. But it's like, are they verifying? Are these sites verifying people's income, education, da-da-da-da-da? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the people that have, that I've actually met my second husband through Match. He was a millionaire, but he was a narcissist. So let me just say, it's a little bit of everything mixed in on those sites. You're going to get a little bit of everything, but he was educated. There was some quality there, but I'm just saying, like, there are people on there that go on there with the intention of just having a physical relationship. But yet he was the first person I met when I moved to Georgia. First person I went on a date with when I moved to Georgia, and we ended up getting married. I never had to go on another date off the app from the time I met him. So it's not like that for everyone, but that's just to say, I went on there, was very intentional about how I presented myself and what my preferences were, and that weeded out a lot of people. But there are people on there lying, fake pilot. Hello, fake pilot, if you're watching. You know who you are. He's also someone who was a millionaire, educated, but also living a double life. Fake pilot. Thank you for all the trips. Sorry.
Thank you for all the trips. Angee, no, but seriously, I have heard horror stories where someone that I know was getting serious with someone that she met online, and the dude was in a relationship. He had a whole nother girlfriend that was beautiful. They lived together and everything. But he wanted to have his cake and eat it too, because I mean, online, all you got to do is set up a profile, and women right at your doorstep, but right on your phone.
Yep.
It's so easily accessible. So the question that you ask, sometimes, it's almost like, the way things are, it's just so extreme with it being so easily attainable to find something that could just scratch your itch immediately, to find someone to scratch your itch immediately. So it's like now, I can understand why celebrities or even, regular people are like, hey, something's got to give. I'm about to hold myself. I value my body. And I'm not just trying to just give it away so fast or easily. I'm trying to find quality people. Your term that you told me, OQP, only
Mhm.
quality people.
Les Brown. Shout out to the
Les
motivation
Brown.
speaker legend, Les Brown. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
OQP.
So
Absolutely.
I think, sometimes you got to do things to help you to get to where you want to be. And being celibate will kind of, I think, help you get closer to finding those quality people that aren't just trying to get a quick fix.
Yeah.
People that are serious. And like you, when you created your profile, because Angee, you are definitely very intentional with everything you touch.
Thank you. I try to be.
So, it's just to answer your question, yes, I think that does play a big part into why people are like, let me just go ahead and be celibate because this is just getting a little too crazy. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna throw in an example. It's a little left field because it relates to health. So I was like listening to a podcast and they were like, back then eating fruits and vegetables would have been totally okay. But now that we have so many toxins around the world and we're inhaling a lot of toxic stuff and eating a lot of processed foods, things that aren't healthy for us, sometimes we have to go to the extreme with detoxing our bodies. You've heard of people going on some fast or juicing fast, right?
Mhm.
Back then, that was unnatural. I'm not saying that celibacy is unnatural, but sometimes this might be considered extreme for some people deciding to have a non-sexual life. But sometimes you gotta go to the extreme to get to a healthy place.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into like the benefits of celibacy because it's not just one aspect. It's abstaining from sexual relations. I mean, because the sex, let me just be having relations. It is a holistic experience. It's a holistic experience, physical, sexual, emotional. It is everything, right? When you're in that moment, everything, right? I mean, you're literally in your birthday suit, okay? And something from someone else can particularly go inside of your body, like biologically, like is an exchange potentially. Even if you use protection, if you kiss and you exchange your saliva, sweat, like it is a very holistic experience. And so if you're abstaining from it, then absolutely there can be some benefits. It's going to impact you holistically. Of course, if you're married, the opposite. If you're married and you're having this and it's holistically can be beneficial in another way, holistically positive when it's a healthy marriage and there's a commitment. It's a whole different experience, right? But before we go deep into the health benefits of abstaining from relations, I wanted to just mention, I think Hollywood is talking about celibacy because everybody's sleeping with everybody. You ever think about that?
I believe it.
I mean, ever since the Diddy White Party expose, you hear all these people coming out. And then I'm not trying to drop people's name. I just mentioned a very well-known person's name. And we're not a gossip podcast, but that is something that is in the news right now. And there's these talks about people who have been SA'd. And not only that, we're learning of different relationships that have ensued behind closed doors that involve relations. And then you think of the number of people that are in these circles over decades, and some people who are just now being introduced to them, young Miami, after this man has already been out. I'm just saying, I have to do my I want to be down. Hit the I want to be down by Brandy dance on that one, because hey, you don't want to be down with everybody because listen.
What you say, Angee?
I get to hit the I don't want to be down with everyone.
When you're talking about celebrities, you're talking about a lot of people that are high profile, they are pretty rare when it comes to the billions of people in the society, right? There's
Everybody's a celebrity nowadays.
there are a lot of celebrities out there, but
It's a
there's
it's a
still
lot of
only
high
a few.
profile prostitutes that service those celebrities that have become influencers today. They were back in the day, you could have a high profile what they call escort back in the day, and nobody knew about it. Now those escorts are social media influencers. Not all of them. I'm just saying. Nowadays, if a celebrity is sleeping around with an escort, 9 times out of 10, that escort got that money because they sleeping with them, and they are flashing it on social media, and they're living that lifestyle. They're promoting that lifestyle, and they're influencing other young women to want to do what they're doing, which is sleeping around with celebrities. They're living the soft life, aka prostitution. I'm just saying.
I was looking at it from a stance of celebrities probably have a hard time finding genuine celebrities to build a family with. So, and it's just already a small circle amongst themselves that are already really wealthy. So it's like, since it's already a small knit circle of us to choose from the get-go, so when I'm trying to find someone to marry or to find a partner, I probably should just be celibate and wait, because like you said, everybody's been with everybody. You follow me?
I mean, they always say 7 billion people on the planet. I mean, however you choose to, and you know what? We have an episode that's coming up this season, y'all. We're going to talk about, as Candace said, OQP. We're going to talk about relationship alignment. We're going to talk about that because there's been this back and forth, about the dating pool having pee in it and, all this and that. But like literally some of us and some people don't need to be in the same pool. It's multiple pools. And some people, just like you ever go to a park, a water park, and they got multiple pools.
Yep.
Everybody ain't supposed to be in the same pool. And because of the internet, everybody is in the same pool. And you have to know how to be the adult and go to the adult pool and quit trying to be in the kiddie pool where there's pee. You don't want pee in a pool, don't go to the kiddie pool. But if you want, hey, listen, I'm just saying, you have a choice.
So I like that. Mic drop. So people complaining about there being pee in the dating pool, but you over here going to the kiddie pool. Wow. I like that, Angee.
That's it. That's all it is. Everybody has a choice. You truly do. And we're going to get into it. And I hope that, there's more and more conversations like that about the relationship alignment, and that will spark that conversation. So more and more people who are aligned can start gravitating towards one another. That just because you're a celebrity does not mean that you have to be picking. Your pickings are only within, those who are in Hollywood. Like you still have access to the whole, like the 7 billion people that, are on this planet. So it really does boil down to what you value. Now, some people that, are in the, Hollywood and limelight, they choose to pick people within the industry for business reasons.
Right.
Some people are picking their mates for, for publicity, business reasons, to have a trophy wife. I mean, and again, whatever you are, the reason that you're choosing your spouse, if it is a shallow reason, like a physical appearance, and then you end up getting something like, I don't know, you have kids with them and then you find out that they ain't really, their inner character ain't nothing. Now you stuck with, you got kids by someone who really wasn't about anything, because you chose to just base it on their physical appearance, how they look, or the influence of the followers they had, or whatever the case. So like people really just have to learn to be intentional about what it is they truly value and sticking with that, because there are many people. An example, Denzel Washington. He'd been with his wife for 41 years.
Yes.
And they have a beautiful family and children now in acting and everything. And I'm sure their marriage ain't perfect, but guess what? That man didn't have to go after what everybody in Hollywood was trying to go after. He was solid in what he wanted. He knew when he met his wife, what he valued, the beauty that she had, not just her physical beauty, but the inner beauty. It was a sustainable relationship. You don't never hear about no scandals or no infidelity, no drama with them, never. So, and that was just one that just came off the top of my head, but that's what I'm saying. So I do look forward to that episode.
Me too.
And sometimes when you come to that place where you are having trouble finding, or not even if you're, personally, I don't look for men. I just personally, I just try to show up as myself. And I just believe that, the person who I'm supposed to be with will find me. Right. But you have to know who you are. And, you have to be walking in who your authenticity to be, for someone to truly identify, okay, this is who I want to be with. I can even say that about my ex-husbands, both of them. I have grown, but there's certain things about my core that haven't changed. And both of those men can attest, even though we're not together. I can honestly say that both of those men can attest to my character being solid and being the same. Those good attributes that they were attracted to, that drew them to me, they're still in me. They're still the same. Right. So I just get, better as time goes on. But I say all that to say, Candace, we do ourselves a disservice when we keep ourselves out there, allowing, ourselves to engage in those acts when we want to be someone's wife. So let's talk about the benefits, the health benefits of celibacy. Let's get into it. So, yep. So you guys know how Candace and I like to do. We love us some research. So we're going to bring you guys, we're giving you a little bit of our personal experience and everything, but now we want to bring you guys a little bit of facts. And this is some research that we've done on the topic of celibacy. All right. So according to Psychology Today, celibacy can help you increase emotional clarity. So practicing celibacy can help you focus on your emotions without the potential emotional complications that can come from, those type of relationships. This can lead to greater emotional clarity, personal growth, and self-understanding. And I can attest to that. I definitely, personally, I have gone through that, and I can definitely attest that is true. What you got, Candace?
Yes. All right. Number 2. Okay. It reduces your anxiety and stress. So in particularly those relationships that might be casual, right, or fleeting, is often associated when it comes to, I guess, casual relationships. You might be faced with a lot of anxiety or stress, right? And being celibate can create a space to focus actually on your mental well-being, because you're not worried about, what Johnny or Shelly might be up to that you were with 2 nights ago.
Hello.
You don't have to be stressed out about that.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Look. Okay. We need all of the mental clarity, okay?
That's what we want.
Yes. All right. Well, let's see what we got up here next. So, all right. Go ahead and switch this over here. All right. So, choosing celibacy requires a level of self-discipline and self-control. And this discipline can extend into other areas of your life. It can extend into other areas of life, promoting healthier habits, emotional balance, and other coping mechanisms. This is according to the American Psychological Association. All right. So basically, abstaining from having, it can actually enhance your self-discipline.
Number 4, it does provide a deeper focus on personal goals without the distraction of emotional highs and lows of being super intimate with someone, individuals, or yourself, right? You can find it easier to focus on your personal goals. And this is very, very true. You don't have that distraction.
Exactly. Trying to find Pookie and Ray Ray.
Scratch that itch, baby.
People practicing celibacy may find that the relationships with their friends and family improve as they're not as emotionally entangled in romantic or sexual dynamics. This can lead to more supportive and fulfilling social connections. This is according to the Journal of Family Psychology.
Yep.
And Candace?
All right.
Yeah,
So
one more?
the last one. Yes. The last one is number 6, increased mental clarity and spiritual connection. So some people do report that being celibate actually enhances their mental clarity and spirituality. It actually gives you a stronger sense of purpose, connection with yourselves, in alignment with your very own values.
Yep. That's it. That'd be the one. That'd be the one right there.
See? Yeah. Yes, that's
I'd be feeling convicted. Like, I can't me personally, don't get me wrong, we do all fall short, but I do know that I'm further away from God when I'm engaging in those situationships. Let's just be clear. So the first step to getting closer to him, I got to get further away from you. Okay. So I personally am enjoying my celibacy journey, and I have no intention of looking back anytime soon. I'm enjoying it. It is everything that we just mentioned, all of the benefits. I am loving and enjoying and reaping the benefits of all of them, How about you?
Yeah, I love how you said you feel closer to God the further you are away from doing something that really isn't going to be healthy for you long term, right?
Yeah.
I feel the same way because deep down, I feel like there's a reason why certain things are said, or the expectation of or the idea of having premarital sex, the idea around it. There's a reason why it's written in the Bible, okay? And I feel like it's all out of love. When we just want to do our own things and we just don't want to have, I was talking to my cousin about this the other day. Shout out to you, Shatara. Love you, girl. She mentioned how, it's just when we out here sinning, it's just a lack of self-control. So when we don't want to have control and we just want to be free and do our own things, you're going to bear the consequences of it. There's a reason why the 10 Commandments are the 10 Commandments,
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, this episode, y'all, choosing you, the power of celibacy. It is definitely a personal choice. It definitely can have significant impact on your personal, spiritual, mental health, and just your overall well-being. Don't let nobody try to talk you out of it if it's something that you want to do. And you have to, of course, you're going to have to establish some boundaries because, of course, and I'm speaking from a hetero, sexual perspective. So when I say the man may try to tempt you, this can also go for whatever, your preference is. Just whatever scenario you're in, I would say, try not to put yourself in situations where it's going to be difficult for you to resist. That is the key. That's the key. You literally have to set up, boundaries, and you don't want to set yourself up to fail on this journey. How am I been successful? I made a difficult choice I had to block somebody, and that's somebody who I care deeply about and who I truly do consider a friend. But this person was not respecting my boundaries and was making it difficult for me to, honor my decision and honor myself. And so I had to block this person just so that I could, continue to honor my journey. So you might have to do that. And if they don't understand or respect that, then that's on them. But you got to do what you got to do if this is truly what you want.
If this is truly what you want. So if the brother hits you up and talk about Netflix and chill, or I heard a new phrase, Tubi, let's watch Tubi and do me.
That's giving low vibrations. That's giving very low. If I wish somebody would talk about some Tubi and do me. You see my face? Do I even look like I want to Netflix and chill? No. Mm-mm. I will Netflix and chill with my husband when I have one again someday. I can Netflix and chill by myself. Yeah, that's low vibrational. We not Netflix and chilling. No. Now, if you want to go to a movie, if you want to go to a movie, it's cool. Go do that. I like outings. But yeah, I mean, this was definitely a much needed episode. I'm glad we covered this topic finally. Yes. So now my business is all out in these streets.
I know, I feel the same way. My business out there too.
Have you ever heard, Candace, people who don't get it can be like angry or bitter so I think that could be the case if a person wants it and can't get it, or they want it and can't get it from who they want it from. I think that could be the issue. I think that could possibly cause a person to, it could impact the way that they show up in the world. But for me, your girl, it doesn't affect me at all, because let me just say, D is all around me every day. D is everywhere. D is everywhere. D is a phone call away. Where the phone? D is right here. Y'all, D is right here. One call away, and he knows. You know who you are. One call away. Listen, my one partner for the last, that person, he knows. One call away. But I think that when you are intentional and you're not getting it, you're not going to be bitter. You're not going to be angry. You're not going to be uptight and, but I think that some women that are, maybe regretful about it, or have emotions tied to it. It's a different situation. It's different. I think for me, I'm like, I feel empowered, baby. I'm like, what? I feel empowered. And I really
yeah, I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said, I feel empowered. And I really wish that for everyone who chooses the path of celibacy. When you choose it, it should be very intentional. I understand that some people might be celibate and it's not their choice. It is literally, it might be they can't get any, or they can't get what they want. And that's why they're not having any. But when you make that intentional choice that you don't want anybody to have access to you because you value you, and it's a different experience. And I feel so empowered. Trust me. It's
I
very
think
empowering.
you feel empowered because you know your why behind it too. Like, I feel like the person that might get discouraged or bitter or frustrated on their journey, maybe their why isn't strong enough.
Yeah.
I've also heard of someone saying, I think they weren't as out there relationally as they wanted to be when they were younger. And I think they were advising the younger community, hey, go out, have fun, do what you need to do, get it out your system. But I think it can lead to some consequences. I mean, STDs out there are real, very real.
Oh yeah.
It all it takes is one time for you to receive something.
Yeah. It's just true.
And pregnancies are very real. Pregnancies are life-changing. Okay.
Unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah.
Lots to think about, but we're going to circle back when we talk about our relationship alignment episode. We going to touch a little bit back on this topic again, because the beauty of this is that when you know who you are, when you are in your journey, you come across someone else, they may also be on that path too. Like, there are men right now that are intentionally practicing celibacy, not even necessarily for their wife, for their future wife. They literally are doing it for themselves because they have not honored their body. They have not honored their temple. They literally are just trying to have that experience. What does it feel like to be able to have that discipline? What does it do for them mentally, spiritually? And once they actually experience it, they're like, oh, shoot. Oh, now I see why women be, now I see why women be so quick to commit to celibacy and they be serious. Yeah. So brothers, if there's any men watching this right now and you have never, and I don't mean by default, I don't mean you ain't been able to find because I know some of y'all desperate. Y'all will get y'all some. Y'all will find a way to find, even if y'all got to go back to, and I I have learned in my life that men do some really strange things for peace. I'm just saying, but they will find a way to get some. But when you make that intentional choice to not give yourself away, you will actually start to have that relationship with yourself that you've never had before, and definitely a relationship with God that you haven't had, at least since you was a virgin. We'll say that.
Quick thing that I want to bring up. Some people might think that abstinence and celibacy are the same thing, but they are a little different. Would you agree?
To be honest with you, I don't know the difference. I just know that the term abstinent means that you're not actively having intercourse. Celibacy, to me, is a lifestyle.
You're right, because that's what I just read. I had to look it up for myself because I'm like, okay, what is the difference between being abstinent and being celibate? So celibacy usually
they can't get none. Stagnant. Celibacy is you're choosing not to get none.
Right. So celibacy usually refers to a long-term commitment to remain abstinent from sexual activity and sometimes to remain unmarried for a significant period. of time or even for life. Celibacy is often associated with religious or spiritual reasons. Abstinence refers to a temporary decision to refrain from certain sexual activities, such as penetrative relations, for a specific period of time. For example, someone might abstain from relations until they are married.
Awesome. Before we go, Candace, did you have any closing remarks?
I don't have any closing remarks. I hope you all got something great from this episode. And hey, connect with us. If you have any questions whatsoever, connect with us.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, the last thing that I have for you all is I want to remind you all that we are looking for guests to join us this season, because we are going to be doing a lot more, people joining and having panels and just more engaging. So if you are enjoying this new platform that we have, the format that we have going, we want guests to join us from any and everywhere. So if that's you, if you're interested, please check out our website. It is prettypurposefulpodcast.com. We have a guest registration form. While you're there, be sure to click on merch. Check out our merchandise that we have. We've been adding new things, more to come. And of course, every purchase, the proceeds do benefit being able to support this channel and being able to bring you more purposeful content. So that's really all I have. I have enjoyed this. This has been really fun. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we're signing off until next time, Candace.
Yes.
Episode. As always, it's okay to be pretty,
but even better to be
pretty purposeful.